Situation: you are with somebody you love and might even have children with, but the person's drinking is starting to place a strain on your relationship and create other issues within your lives. At first, it didn't seem to matter. They would have a few drinks and that would be it. But as time has gone on, the drinking has increased and shows no signs of abating. Or is it, the person's drinking has already got to the point where it is now out of control? In particular, for the partner of a person with alcohol addiction, the addiction is a very difficult and frustrating issue to deal with, and not least, because inevitably your first barrier to overcome will likely be partner denial to actually having an alcohol issue. It's at this point with denial having the capacity to create disagreements. The arguments, if not tempered, can decide the fate of the relationship there and then, so dealing with addiction denial, in its own right, clearly must be respected as having the potential to put an end to the relationship, and so caution is advised when trying to argue there is an issue. You know, it's interesting how seemingly blinded by opium, at first, a lot of family members think they can handle the whole alcoholic thing on their own without the help of outsiders. Because let's be honest, how hard can it be? Right, it's just a simple question of convincing someone to stop drinking. Problem solved. So off we all go with the DIY approach, which often involves inadvertently enabling the addiction. But then after reality kicks in and the opium wears off, it becomes clear for most, saving the world by yourself just isn't going to pan out, and for numerous reasons out of your control. If consumed by a feeling of hopelessness, this can be a very discouraging time for loved ones. So understanding the ins and outs of the addiction condition, its impact, and the support resources available can be a crucial game changer that has the potential to work for you. In navigating my partner's addiction, the insights I share today were not part of the guidance I received years ago while actively encouraging my partner to overcome alcohol dependency. In retrospect, my lack of awareness regarding effective treatment options likely only served to heighten my frustration. So treatment ignorance is something to be taken into account. So first and foremost, I would strongly suggest before you do anything, you appreciate right at the start, it is unrealistic to think there is a quick fix to dealing with this issue and the effort required of you is likely going to be considerable. But if you are committed to your relationship, this is the sort of thing we do willingly, right? So let's start this journey by recognizing, in some cases, regardless of the amount of effort you put into keeping your relationship going, you might still fail after making some extraordinary sacrifices. This is said, not to put you off, but rather to manage your expectations realistically. Sometimes some people just can't be helped, and that will have no bearing on the conviction and efforts you have made to try and help them. Still with me? Well, let's try and give you some of the best tools to help you help your partner. Aside from your personal experience, learn more about alcoholism and its effects on individuals and relationships and establish the available treatment options open to your loved one. Understanding the condition not only can, but will help you approach the issue more effectively, and this really is something to be taken seriously. Start reading reputable books, articles, and publications about alcoholism. Look for materials written by experts in the field or organizations specializing in addiction. Explore reputable online resources, such as websites of organizations dealing with substance abuse and mental health services. Attend webinars on alcoholism. Search for mental health organizations or addiction treatment centers that may be having educational events. Several online platforms offer courses on addiction and substance abuse. These courses can provide in-depth knowledge and insights into the various aspects of alcoholism. Participate in support groups like Al-Anon or Alateen, which are specifically designed for individuals affected by someone else's alcoholism. These groups provide a supportive environment and offer valuable information regarding your own health at this difficult time. Watch documentaries and films that explore the impact of alcoholism on individuals and families. These visual mediums can provide a more personal and emotional understanding of the subject. There are podcasts dedicated to discussing addiction and recovery. Listening to personal stories, expert interviews, and discussions can deepen your understanding of alcoholism. Gain insights from individuals who have experienced alcoholism firsthand or from family members who have dealt with a loved one's addiction. Personal stories really can provide a unique perspective. Learn about various treatment options for alcoholism, including therapy approaches, medication-assisted treatment, and rehabilitation programs. Remember, education is an ongoing process, and staying informed will help you better navigate the complexities of alcoholism. It's also essential to approach the topic with empathy and a non-judgmental attitude, as alcoholism is a medical condition that requires understanding and support. And of course, talk to professionals. Consult with healthcare professionals, therapists, or addiction counselors. They can offer personalized guidance, answer questions, and provide resources tailored to your specific concerns. However, regarding professional input, this is where the peer counseling of YYZ Bruce becomes essential reading. Yes, counselors play a crucial role in supporting individuals through various challenges, providing emotional and mental health guidance, and contributing to overall well-being. However, this is right up to the time they do not function professionally, and it happens. Able to speak publicly on this subject, having finally convinced his partner to get professional help for their addiction, the unthinkable happened, a result of a mono-sheepel guidance counselor, Catherine Heyman, violating her code of ethics. The counseling of his partner took the form of e-counseling. That is to say, with all correspondence by email only, the counselor and client never met face to face. However, fully understanding she was communicating with an alcoholic, this didn't stop Catherine Heyman from recklessly defaming YYZ Bruce's character with unsupported statements. And her unethical input nearly got him killed twice. The outcome being, in a blaze of alcoholic chaos, Heyman's defamation successfully ended up destroying his and her client's relationship. Having had his life trashed, YYZ Bruce ended up going to civil court to have Heyman's slander addressed, only to have mono-sheepel lawyers commit malpractice themselves defending Catherine Heyman. It can be legally said, after 14 years, this matter has still not been resolved to the satisfaction of law. For those wishing more information regarding mono-sheepel's remarkable malpractice events, the story can be watched on the YouTube channel, YYZ Bruce, under the video title, The Art of Lawyer Disinformation. A link is at the end of this video. Regardless of the disgrace of the injustice that has taken place, this is an excellent example of but one thing that can go wrong for caregivers of alcoholics. As if to be the inevitable, if the situation is not addressed before it's too late, chaos can rule the day. Needless to say, unethical counselors like Catherine Heyman can bring about severe consequences, potentially causing serious harm to clients' mental health and exacerbating the goodwill of caregivers. YYZ Bruce's experience clearly highlights the importance of finding a truly professional counselor to deal with your issue, and there are a great many out there, but the clear message identified by his experience must be, choose your counselor carefully. In a bid to try and address the alcoholic issue before it gets too far down the road, learn about the signs of alcoholism. This seems obvious, but recognizing the signs of alcoholism involves being observant of behavioral, physical, and psychological changes in an individual. This will also allow you a greater understanding of how big the issue is and what the safest options are to proceed with. Here are some common signs that may indicate a person is struggling with alcoholism. Even when faced with negative consequences such as health issues, relationship problems, or legal troubles, someone with alcoholism may continue to drink. A person with alcoholism may find it challenging to limit their alcohol intake or control the duration of their drinking episodes. They may express a desire to cut down but find it difficult to do so. Seemingly inevitable, most individuals with alcoholism often need more alcohol to achieve the same effects they once experienced with smaller amounts. This increased tolerance is a key indicator along with experiencing withdrawal symptoms when not drinking. This is a sign of physical dependence, and further symptoms may include sweating, trembling, nausea, anxiety, or irritability. Alcoholism can lead to neglect of work, school, or family responsibilities. Individuals may prioritize drinking over other important aspects of their life, and sadly, that can all too often include the well-being of other family members. Exploring for a moment the concept of a functioning alcoholic, one could argue that it constitutes a fallacy, as inevitably, some aspect of their life along the way will exhibit dysfunction as a direct consequence of the addiction's repercussions. The fallacy of a functioning alcoholic is to be discussed in a forthcoming YYZ Bruce video. Please subscribe to the channel for the notification. A person struggling with alcoholism may also withdraw from social activities and isolate themselves from friends and family who may express concern about their drinking. Let's not forget, the alcoholic doesn't want to hear you trying to stop them from drinking, so we go back to the beginning. Education on the subject is paramount. Loss of interest can also be witnessed. Hobbies, activities, or pursuits that were once enjoyable may now take a backseat to alcohol consumption. Going to the extreme, chronic alcohol abuse can lead to physical health problems, including liver disease, gastrointestinal issues, and neurological damage. Alcoholism may cause changes in physical appearance, such as weight loss, disheveled appearance, or neglect of personal hygiene. A preoccupation with alcohol can occur, constantly thinking about when and where to get the next drink and prioritizing alcohol over other activities or responsibilities is also very common. Hiding the extent of alcohol consumption or drinking in secret will almost certainly suggest there is a problem. This behavior often stems from shame or an attempt to avoid yet more confrontation. So once again, all these things must be taken into account. If you suspect someone may be struggling with alcoholism, it's important to approach the situation with empathy and encourage them to seek professional help. Consulting with a healthcare professional, counselor, or addiction specialist can provide guidance on the best course of action. But YYZ Bruce says, first things first. If your partner's alcohol use poses a threat to your safety or the safety of others, prioritize your well-being and consider reaching out to authorities or seeking temporary shelter. The role of caregivers for individuals struggling with alcoholism is undoubtedly significant, and while the instinct to prioritize the well-being of their partners is commendable, it is equally crucial for these care persons to prioritize their own health. The journey of supporting someone through addiction is emotionally and physically demanding, often requiring immense strength and resilience. However, neglecting one's own well-being can lead to burnout and compromise the effectiveness of the support provided. One paramount reason for care persons to focus on their health is the concept of self-preservation. The toll of caring for someone battling alcoholism can be emotionally draining, and neglecting one's own mental health may result in increased stress, anxiety, and even depression for the caregiver. By prioritizing self-care, caregivers can better navigate the challenges they face, maintaining their emotional resilience and capacity to provide consistent support. Furthermore, the physical health of caregivers is directly intertwined with their ability to offer assistance. Chronic stress and neglect of personal health can contribute to a weakened immune system, increased susceptibility to illness, and heightened risk of various health issues. A caregiver's ability to provide effective support is contingent upon their own physical well-being, making it imperative to adopt habits that promote overall health and vitality. Additionally, placing emphasis on personal health sets a positive example for the individual struggling with alcoholism. By demonstrating a commitment to well-being, caregivers not only enhance their own resilience but also inspire and encourage their partners to consider the importance of self-care. This indirect influence can contribute to a more holistic approach to recovery, emphasizing the well-being of both individuals in the relationship. Based on personal experience by YYZ Bruce, this point should really be taken very seriously. Caregivers of individuals grappling with alcoholism must recognize the importance of maintaining their own health. Don't for 1 minute think that this practice is selfish, because it's not, but rather a strategic necessity to ensure sustained, effective support for their partners. By prioritizing mental and physical well-being, caregivers can navigate the challenges of their roles more effectively and contribute to a healthier, more balanced dynamic within the relationship. It's important to understand the limits of your influence. Recognize that you cannot control your partner's actions or choices. That said, it's crucial to focus on what you can control, such as your own responses and decisions. Let's look at some helpful aspects, but once again, if they ignite unsafe resistance, back off and let things settle down. Once again, this is where the assistance of a good counselor can be invaluable. If your partner appears amenable to the conversation, foster open communication to express your concerns, feelings, and observations, and encourage your partner to share their thoughts as well. It's always nice for loved ones to be nice, but try and avoid enabling behaviors. Avoid actions that enable your partner's drinking, such as covering up for them, making excuses, or providing financial support that may be used for alcohol. Digressing for a moment, allowing shame to discourage addressing a partner's alcoholism is another issue to be discussed by a YYZ Bruce podcast later in the year. Once again, please subscribe to this channel to get notifications of the event. It can be difficult, but it is important to clearly define your boundaries and communicate them with your partner. This may involve setting limits on behavior, such as not tolerating verbal or physical abuse. A good way to approach this is to first connect with support groups, such as Al-Anon, to share experiences and gain insights from others who have already dealt with similar situations. But ultimately, somewhere along the line, you are going to end up having to suggest the idea of seeking professional help to your partner, such as counseling or rehabilitation programs. However, keep in mind that the decision to seek help will ultimately have to be down to your partner. And guess what? They don't think they have a problem, or it's you that's overreacting, or it's a million other excuses why your partner doesn't need help. And so this can be a very frustrating time, that in some cases without intervention, can go on for years. Wait, hang on, this will do it. But if you love me, you'd stop. Once we have got over the sound of crickets, you need to remember, you are fighting a chemical dependency that's power for most is beyond reason, so you cannot take it personally. It just is what it is. Do you have to like it? No, of course not. But if you want a chance to keep the relationship going, it is something you will have to mentally come to terms with. So how do you persuade your partner to get help? And should you be part of a counseling process? The first hurdle to overcome will undoubtedly be your partner's reluctance to want to stop drinking. So you must make them amenable by expressing your genuine concern for their well-being. Don't just launch into random conversation. Find a suitable time to talk when both of you are calm and can dedicate time to a discussion without interruptions. Use "I" statements to avoid sounding accusatory, such as, "I've noticed that I'm worried about your drinking, and I care about you." Open up about how their alcohol use is affecting you emotionally and impacting the relationship. Share specific instances where you felt concerned or hurt. Emphasize the potential positive outcomes of seeking counseling, such as improved health, strengthened relationships, and personal growth. Offer to research counseling options, or if amenable, do it together. Presenting information about different counseling approaches or facilities may make the process seem less daunting. And let's not forget, they don't want to be doing any of this, so it's baby steps, and be careful not to place blame on them. Instead, focus on the idea that counseling is a collaborative effort to address concerns and promote overall well-being. Assure your partner that you are there to support them throughout the counseling process. Let them know that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Practically to the point of normalizing the situation, share success stories of well-known celebrities who have overcome alcohol addiction through counseling. Able to latch onto others who have walked the same path can provide hope and inspiration for people, so this approach is certainly worth using. For the most part, going up against resistance, it's important to remember, you must approach the conversation with a great deal of patience and understanding. Hence, educating yourself will be an invaluable asset to deal with this aspect. If your partner remains resistant, consider seeking guidance from a professional interventionist or counselor for further assistance. And what about the question, should you be part of the counseling process? With the experience YYZ Bruce had dealing with the rogue mono-sheepel guidance counselor, Catherine Heyman, clearly his thoughts on the subject must be respected as having serious merit. Catherine Heyman's malpractice ended with the complete destruction of his relationship, and so his view is that to eliminate counselors using confidentiality to unethically disparage client partners, it's plainly preferable for couples to attend counseling together. This is further felt reasonable in respect. If everybody's working on the same page, there can be no misunderstandings. However, as was his position, a lot of people are hesitant to have their partner attend counseling sessions with them, and for numerous reasons. People can fear if having their partner with them, it could lead to judgment or criticism that in turn could lead to confrontations or arguments. They might worry that discussing their issues openly in front of their partner could worsen the relationship or result in a negative perception. And of course, They might just be apprehensive about facing the consequences of their actions in a therapeutic setting, especially if it involves discussing the impact of their alcohol use on the relationship. The list goes on, but it's important to approach the situation with sensitivity and understanding. If your partner is resistant to having you attend counseling sessions with them, although not ideal as identified by YYZ Bruce's experience, the situation is better than nothing, so express your support and willingness to participate in the way that makes them most comfortable. Communication and empathy play crucial roles in navigating these challenging conversations. If needed, seek the guidance of a qualified therapist or counselor to help address concerns and find a suitable approach for both partners. In conclusion, navigating a partner's alcohol addiction is a challenging journey that demands both resilience and understanding. Recognizing the signs of alcoholism, educating oneself on the condition, and seeking professional help are vital steps in addressing the issue. However, the process of convincing a partner to seek help requires patience, empathy, and a strategic approach. The importance of caregivers prioritizing their own mental and physical health cannot be overstated, as it directly impacts on their ability to provide effective support. YYZ Bruce's experience highlights the potential pitfalls if choosing the wrong counselor, emphasizing the need to carefully select a professional with integrity. Ultimately, the journey is complex, but with commitment, education, and a focus on well-being, there is hope for positive outcomes and the potential for healing within the relationship. For now, are you allowed to resent being put in the predicament you are? Yes, of course you are, but if committed to the relationship, you must be able to put this feeling behind you, so as not to be distracted from the job in hand. We hope this information has been helpful to you and wish you well on your journey of life.
This information is brought to you by YYZ Bruce, Canada.